and welcome to What Pet Should I Get? My name is Julia Batchelor. Today on the program, Claire Fondren will be here, of course, from Dogtails Rescue and Sanctuary. And later on the program, you'll meet Donna from North Toronto Cat Rescue. But first up, as always, from the Ontario SPCA, we have Callie Milliman here. How are you doing, Callie?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Now, we took a little break. We were away for Easter. Did you have a good Easter?
Absolutely. And yourself?
I'm good. Speaking of Easter and bunny rabbits, I wanted to ask you about the last time, the show that we did last time, we had Pistachio, who's a cat.
Yes.
And Abed, the bunny.
Yes.
What's their status? Can you bring up a photo for us, Shay, to show Abed and Abed first? Can you bring him up?
There. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so Abed is now at one of our PetSmart locations. As we mentioned, we do have a few that we work with. So he's still looking for his home. But we also had Pistachio, as you mentioned, and people will remember Pistachio as the one-eyed cat.
Yep.
And Pistachio did find a loving home.
Nice.
Absolutely. So we're very, very happy Pistachio has a new home.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I know you've got Daisy here today, but before we start talking about Daisy,
yes,
I wanted to talk to you about the Meet Your Match program. Now, April is Meet Your Match month.
It is.
And it's a really interesting thing. Like when we go to the Ontario SPCA and we do our little mini adoption profiles, you were saying, well, this animal has been assessed as a goofball. And I'm like, what is this all about? So talk to us about that.
Sure. So the Meet Your Match program was actually developed by the ASPCA, which is in the United States. And what we've done is sort of adopted the adoption program here in Ontario.
How fitting.
How fitting. And what we found is that the adoption rates have gone up.
Yep.
And return rates have gone down.
Yep.
It's a very successful program. And essentially, it's a science-based program where what we do is we sort of give a personality assessment to all of our cats and dogs. Once that assessment is through, it provides them with a color that corresponds with that personality type. So to give you a kind of quick overview, green is the very energetic end of the scale, the life of the party, as we say. Opposite end of the scale would be purple, a much more quiet, sometimes timid or shy, and then orange, which is Daisy, right in the middle. Very friendly, meeting everybody, but as you can see, she has a pretty calm demeanor, so she's kind of a mix between the two. When the adopter comes in, they fill out a very short survey. It really just takes a couple of minutes, and it provides the adopter with a color. We can then go through the adoption center and sort of match you up with the personality that'll best suit your family and your lifestyle.
And I imagine that knowing that would reduce the return rate.
Absolutely. Our work is to try and find you the best match. And again, that's all about making sure that the pet is going to work for your lifestyle. You know, if you work long hours, we want to make sure we're getting an animal that's going to be independent, that's going to be okay on their own. If you're getting a young puppy or something that's going to require a little bit more attention, we want to make sure you have the time for that. Or you have maybe one of your family members works from home or something like that, so they can be there to walk that animal. Whatever the case may be, there's part of the survey that asks, is your household like a carnival or more like a library?
Yep.
And that's going to determine quite a bit what kind of pet's going to fit best.
And I imagine too that, you know, when you're talking about, say, a green, which is a high energy animal, well, all puppies and kittens are high energy, and that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be a green. And you might be the type of person that is a bit of a librarian, but, you know, you might want to have a little bit of spice and energy brought into your life, and what a great way to do that with having a pet. Absolutely,
and the Meet Your Match program does have personality assessments for puppies, but not for kittens. Kittens do not get assessed until they're at least 8 months of age. The way the program was created is that they don't get assessed until they're a little bit older, because kittens at a very young age tend to have very similar personalities.
They do.
Yeah.
And I know that with kittens too, I mean, I think a lot of it, I know that there is some sort of like hereditary factors involved with the way a personality of a cat turns out, but from my personal experience, I find that the way that they're raised has the biggest, plays the biggest part on what type of cat personality that they're going to have.
It's very true, and the Meet Your Match program is mostly going to be based on what we're seeing as a sort of first time. So when they're first coming into a home or first coming into the center, this is the way they're sort of presenting. But once they get into your home, they get comfortable, they get used to your routine, they can begin to just you know, get into your family's lifestyle and that sort of thing. So.
Excellent. And you're saying now that you've introduced the Meet Your Match program, that it's increased your adoption rates.
Absolutely. So we introduced it, I want to say, approximately 5 years ago.
Yep.
And so they've noticed quite a successful adoption rate. And then, like we mentioned, the return rates going down. Because again, if the pet isn't a good fit for your family, you're going to get it home, you're going to realize that, and you're going to think, you know what, this just doesn't work for our lifestyle. And that's a very simple thing that we can avoid.
Yeah.
If we just have that conversation, talk to them about what kind of lifestyle they have, we can find out what pet works best for them. And essentially, it's what this show's all about. What pet should you get?
That's right.
Yeah.
And speaking of pets, we have Daisy here, and she is a Spaniel Boston Terrier mix.
She is. She's 6 years old.
And she's really sweet.
She's super sweet. She's so cute, as you can see. You look at her little face there.
Yeah,
and she did have a home.
Yes.
So she was with us, and she got adopted out. Now, she did end up coming back to us, and this is really important. So we were just talking about getting those return rates down, and here's an example where a dog did come back. Now, she has a particular situation. So they were found that she had urinary crystals, okay? So we did let the adopter know that she does need a special diet due to that. As well, she needs to go to the vet on a monthly basis and get urinalysis tests done. You know, the adopter, knowing that, did adopt her, but unfortunately, sometimes when you have vet bills that are racking up like that, it can, you know, it can add up, and unfortunately they were not able to continue to care for her, in which case she's back in our care. When adopting, you know, of course, more than just matching you personality type, of course we want to provide you with this type of medical history so that you're going in fully knowledgeable about the animal that you're bringing into your home and what kind of budget you need to set.
Well, we were saying off camera too that I have a cat who has the urinary crystal issue, and as well as you. And I know that my cat's his condition has been controlled amazingly well by diet. So if you are interested in adopting Daisy, it's not going to be that overwhelming. Don't be afraid to adopt this dog because she has that issue. The proper diet, science-based. You said Royal Canin is a great one.
Yeah, they have a great diet food,
It keeps it in check.
It does. So, like you said, don't be intimidated by it.
I gotta cut you off. You know,
problem.
we're gonna throw to our pet tip with Callie. So here it is. Sorry about that.
Dental hygiene and oral care is very important for your pets, in the same way it is to us humans. Here are a couple of tips on how you can help prevent any dental problems with your pet. You want to brush your pet's teeth on a regular basis, using a toothbrush or toothpaste, but only the pet kind, which you can find at the store. Today I'm going to show you a homemade version. You can use gauze. All you want to do is wrap it around your finger, and it makes it a little bit easier to get it into the pet's mouth and rub their teeth. This is going to help take off any plaque and help keep their breath nice and fresh. My name's Callie Milliman with the Ontario SPCA, and that is this week's Pet Tip.
Welcome back. Joining me now from Dogtail's Rescue and Sanctuary is Claire Forndren. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's always good to be here.
Yeah, you weren't here the other week. We had Tracy here in your place, and she had brought Max, who's an American Bulldog. Can we bring up a picture of Max? Yeah, and I hear he is a sweetheart, that he very well loved at the sanctuary.
Yeah, he's one of the staff favorites, absolutely.
Whoever takes your photos, by the way, they take the most beautiful. Like, look how gorgeous that picture is.
Jen at Gotcha Studios, shout out. She's an excellent photographer, and she does it all for free. She volunteers her time.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So what's the status on him? Has he found a home yet?
So we're still looking for a home, but there's actually a family that is very interested in him, and they've been coming quite regularly to visit him. So we're hoping that it will turn into an adoption. But with a dog like Max, we do need to be very picky about what home he goes to. He needs an experienced owner, so it's a longer process.
Yeah, and if our viewers remember, Max's story was he came from a dog fighting ring in Quebec. And of course, he's obviously been assessed. He's a safe dog to have in the home, but there is that to take into consideration. Is that what you're talking about when you want somebody that's got a bit more experience, because he is a bigger breed and he has had a bit of a on, you know, no fault of his own, a past that is not the most desirable,
No, he
right?
had a terrible life, absolutely, and we've done a lot of work with him, and we need someone who's able to continue that work, so that he continues to be the amazing, sweet dog that he is right now.
Excellent. Now, I know you weren't here last time because the ongoing situation about the alleged dogfighting ring in Tilbury. I know that Dogtails has been working so hard to try and get the 21 dogs that have been seized, whose fate right now is, you know, they're earmarked to be euthanized. But I know that you guys have stepped in and intervened, and can you give us an update on what's happening with that?
Absolutely. So we've offered to take all 21 dogs. Our plan is to rehabilitate them and find them appropriate homes out of province, but of course, if any of the dogs can't be rehabilitated, we're offering them a forever home at our sanctuary. So it really is the perfect solution to this issue that keeps the dogs safe and also the public safe, because we really feel that these dogs, they deserve a chance. I mean, they haven't been given that chance. They've had a horrible life full of abuse, and I think that's the very least we can do for them. So we'll be going back to court on April 18th, and we're hoping that the judge will hear intervener applications at that time, and that we'll have some good news.
Now, do you know, because of the breed-specific legislation that was passed, I think it was 10, 12 years ago now, this situation that's happened, is that going to help maybe amend this legislation? Because this, I know, is a big part that's making it so difficult for you to be able to take these dogs. So I imagine if there were any other breed, this wouldn't even be a question.
Well, exactly. And I mean, rather than just focusing on these dogs and helping them, we've instead had to start lobbying the government to get permission to house them, which, you know, it's ridiculous. In the legislation, it's been proven that it has not done anything to reduce dog bites in Ontario. And I think this situation and how high profile it's become, it's opened a really important conversation about breed-specific legislation in Ontario. And I think in the next election, it's going to become a huge election topic, and hopefully something happens before then, because that's 2 years away. But
well, I know right now they're still in a holding pattern. Their fate has not been sealed, and I know yourself and there's other organizations that are lobbying to help save these dogs. So let's hope that we get a positive outcome for all of them.
Absolutely. They deserve it.
Have you had an opportunity to actually get to see or meet any of these dogs?
Nobody has. And actually the MPP of the area, Rick Nichols, reached out to Kate McDonald with the OSPCA and requested a visit to see how the dogs were doing. And last I heard, he hasn't heard back. So we don't even know where they are right now.
Well, hopefully with the next time that you're on the show, we have some good news.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, speaking of dogs that are here, we have another Max.
This is Max, a little smaller.
Yes, a little
still white.
So tell us about this Max.
So this Max, he's a local boy. So he was surrendered to our shelter a couple of weeks ago by a local couple. They didn't have time for him anymore. He wants to go down.
No problem. That's why we got this big space here.
So they didn't have time for him anymore. He's 9 years old. He had been with them since he was a puppy. So when he first arrived, he was really shut down and depressed, and he wouldn't interact with anyone. He wouldn't even eat. So one of our staff members actually took him to her home for a few days to try and get him to eat and open up, and it's made a big difference.
He's perked up again.
Yeah, he loves people. All he wants is affection. He will follow you around everywhere you go. He's the sweetest dog, and he loves other dogs, and it's really...
He's a good dog.
Yeah, he's a good dog. It's
and
a
9
shame.
years old for a small breed. You know, I say the lifespan of big dogs, and it could be 10 and 12, but for little dogs, they can live up to, what, 15, 17 years.
Absolutely.
And this dog is spry, and he looks more like a puppy than a 9-year-old dog.
He is in great shape. If I didn't know he was 9, I would think he was maybe 5.
Yeah. And so do you know where he would be best suited? I mean, is he good with other dogs? I know it's hard to always guess with cats because you guys are a dogs-only facility. Do you know anything about...
He's great with other dogs. We have a few other little ones with us right now that he loves to run and play with. He's really great with people. He can be a little shy at first, but he is really opening up. So I think he's an easy pet. He would make a really good family pet. I think he'd be fine with older kids, not really young kids who are constantly in his face, but kids that know how to act with a dog, and he's a great little guy.
I know, he seems like he's a little, it's like, I think the cameras intimidate the animals that come on here. So when you see the animals seeming a little stressed, when they're in the green room, when they're offset, they're awesome. It's just, I always say this every time, it's the environment. We have actually run out of time, but as always, if you want to meet Max in person, Dog Tales is open every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
That's right, you can come and meet him. So thank you so much, Claire, and we will see you next week. Now we're going to throw to Dr. Michael John Winters with this week's vet tip.
As winter is almost over, it's time to take a look at parasites, especially ectoparasites. They're the parasites we find on the surface of our pets. Today we look at the tick. Ticks are one of the parasites that we're seeing a lot of this year, especially over this mild winter. When the temperatures are greater than 10 degrees, the tick tends to be active. In order to protect you and your pet from ticks, I advise the following measures. Use a recognized preventative treatment that can either be oral or topical. Speak with your vet to see what's most appropriate for your pet. Inspect your pet regularly, especially brushing them after long walks. If you're going on a hike, try and find out if an area has a known tick problem. If so, maybe avoid these areas. Should you find a tick on your pet, call your vet immediately for most appropriate advice. Use a tick twister or other such tool to help remove the tick from your pet safely and completely. And always, prevention is better than cure. This is Dr. MJ Winters at the 404 Veterinary Emergency and Referral Clinic, and that's this week's Vet Tip.
Welcome back. I'd now like to welcome Donna Cox from North Toronto Cat Rescue. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Now, North Toronto Cat Rescue is an all-volunteer, not-for-profit organization.
Yes.
And you have been serving York Region and GTA in general for how many years now?
28.
28 years. And how many cats have come through your organization?
Well over 2,500.
And now I understand that your shelter is unique because, one, it's a no-kill, which is great, but it's also a no-cage shelter. So how does that look?
It's amazing. People have to see it to believe it. These cats are cageless, and they all get along. They socialize. They have 9 rooms. We have 9 rooms of cats, one being an isolation room for cats such as this one who has both FIV and leukemia. But those type of cats have a room of their own, and they have outside dens as well in the summer where they can go out through a window into a big den and get some fresh air.
And you have approximately 200 cats in the shelter right now.
Correct, yes.
And I imagine that if there's 9 rooms and they're socializing with each other, then we know that every cat that's in the shelter, if you're looking to adopt one, is going to be great with other cats in the home.
That's absolutely true. And we can help people choose a cat if, for instance, they have another cat at home. And very often introducing a second cat is not the easiest thing to a cat. Cats,
done it.
Cats become territorial.
Yep.
And we know their personalities in the shelter and who might get along with someone else. A submissive cat with a cat that's more of an alpha cat or something of that nature. But we do, in fact, know their personalities.
Now, I know that the shelter has been located at the same location for about 10 years now.
Correct.
And just recently, you have been told that at the end of 2016, you're no longer going to be there.
Yes.
So what's happening now?
Well, at the moment, we're very busy trying to find a new location. We would like to stay in the Markham area, Markham/Thornhill area, if possible. So we are busily out there trying to find the proper place for us to go again. We need a place where the town will rezone us again. And then we have to fundraise for it.
Yes, that's the big thing.
That's a huge thing.
Well, and I know you're looking for partnerships, so any of the viewers out there, if you happen to be somebody that owns real estate and you really love cats and you want to help Donna and the North Toronto Cat Rescue, please visit our website. All the information for their organization will be on there.
Yes.
And you do have a fundraiser that's coming up on April 29th. We have a poster. If you could bring up the poster, we can show our audience. I find this really unique. Now, you're a very lovely, sweet lady, and your fundraiser is a bunch of punk bands that are going to be raising money for the shelter.
They're amazing. They're all animal lovers.
Yep.
And the particular person who decided to organize this with all her friends and assorted folks, amazing. She used to work at the shelter till she took on a full-time job and didn't have the time.
Yep.
But she put herself in front and said, hey, we're going to do this. We are going to save North Toronto Cat Rescue.
Excellent.
Again, it is the only no-kill facility, and we simply need help. So it's people stepping forward to give us a hand.
Yep, you're saying you're needing roughly about $1 million. So if you're interested, once again, please donate. You're also, I know, looking for volunteers.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing. Foster homes.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. And it's all, the tax receivable, that's for sure, for
Yep.
donations. People need to understand.
Because you're a registered nonprofit.
Absolutely. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about two of the cats that you've brought here today.
Yep.
Let's start with Ruffles. Now, Ruffles is adorable and super sweet.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
Ruffles has come in from a hoarding situation. I should step back and say that about 85% of all our cats have been trapped in gullies and ravines and dumpsters and wherever. We spend most of our time outside bringing those in where people have discarded them. And we bring them back and give them back a life. They've been in various stages of illnesses, maybe outside with upper respiratory or depending on the weather conditions. But we bring them back and give them back a life.
Yeah.
So most of our work is done outside, always has been. But then sometimes we get a call from a social worker where there's a problem in a home, and we have stepped up for that. So this little girl has come from a hoarding situation. She is about 4 years old. She's also declawed.
Yeah.
And
So you want to keep her as an indoor cat because she has no defenses.
all our cats must be indoor cats.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
We really believe that they should be inside, free of diseases and viruses that lurk in the grasses everywhere outside.
Okay, and so obviously we know she's good with other cats.
Absolutely, she is.
So she'd be a perfect, and I mean, look at her. I mean, most cats and dogs that come here get a little stressed because of the lights. This cat has no problem.
No,
She's a mellow fellow.
She is a mellow fellow and
Yeah.
very delightful.
She's beautiful.
And a lap cat.
Yeah, and I love lap cats.
Yeah.
So if you're
she's
interested in
one of those.
Ruffles, she's available. All the information is on our website. Now, we have Garbo on your lap.
We do.
Now, Garbo, she's a special needs cat. Talk to us about her.
Garbo is one of these dear sweet souls who, again, was outside a little bit too long and has picked up not only a leukemia virus, but she's also picked up FIV. So another cat has probably bitten her.
What's FIV?
FIV is like HIV in people.
Okay.
F is human and H
ya.
H is human, F is feline.
So she's got an immune disorder
She
then.
definitely has a double whammy. Now, we've had cats come in with this double condition, and they have lasted probably 12, 13 years, and their lifespan is shorter than a normal cat that's more healthy. But the fact is, indoor and warm and fed well,
Yep.
their lifespan is not. They're not gone in 2 or 3 days. They have a life now, but they are kept separate. And she's just a delightful little lap cat. She's
Yeah.
sweet too, but again, this is what happens outside.
Yeah.
is they
And
pick
if you
up
don't
these
get your
things.
cat vaccinated either.
Well, vaccines don't always prevent some of these things.
Oh, really?
And FIV is spread from cat to cat, feline to feline by bites, and that's.
And there's no vaccination against
There's
that?
nothing for that. No.
Okay.
Leukemia, there are leukemia vaccines, but different strains, different companies target different strains of vaccines, or leukemia strains. So not all vaccines cover every leukemia strain.
So if somebody's interested in adopting Garbo, would you recommend her then to go to a home where she's the only cat?
Yes.
Or say if the other cats that are living there would obviously have the similar ailments?
If it was a home with another leukemia cat, that's not a problem at all. She's not going to bite anyone and pass on an FIV virus. That's, again, another autoimmune problem, but she doesn't bite her, and that's how that is spread. I just find leukemia is a question of how that is spread, but probably by sharing food bowls and water.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much, Donna, for being on the show. If you're interested in, again, donating or going to the fundraiser happening on April 29th, please visit our website for details. And also, if you have adopted a pet that you have seen on the show, please send us an email and a photograph. We'd love to profile you on the show. Thank you so much for watching. From everyone here at What Pet Should I Get? My name is Julia Batchelor, and we'll see you next time.